from the station taking action for you. This is ABC Action News.
Chaos on campus.
There has been a shooting in the library.
A gunman injures 3 people at Florida State.
People left their MacBooks, their backpacks, their phones, threw everything and just started running to the back of the library.
Right now at 6, how students are coping and what we're learning about the man who pulled the trigger. Good evening. I'm Brendan McLaughlin.
And I'm Wendy Ryan. Thanks for joining us. Students huddled in fear, using overturned tables as a makeshift barricade to block a second-floor door in the library. Another student, Jason Durfus, credited a backpack filled with books for blocking one of the gunman's bullets and saving his life. He says he was just feet away from the shooter, and only later did he realize how close he came to getting shot.
2 of the books that I had checked out had a bullet hole in them. I know God's looking out for me, and there's really no other explanation for it.
Jason's parents saying tonight the shooting gives them a whole new perspective on Thanksgiving and being thankful this year.
As for the gunman, he's identified as Myron May. He graduated from Florida State in 2005 and just moved back to Florida earlier this month. Authorities say his life was in a state of crisis and that he had written journals and produced videos in which he expressed fears of being targeted. Police say they do not know why he chose this particular time to act. Now, we're going to have more on what we're learning about the suspected shooter, including a look inside the guest house where he was staying. Coming up, first, though, we want to get to Carson Chambers. She's live on campus with the latest on the investigation in today's shooting. Carson?
Brendan, key pieces of information about this investigation coming out of the Tallahassee Police Department. It gives us a better look at why May have carried out this attack, and also a better timeline, a clearer timeline of how the shooting unfolded. Now, we do know that more than 30 rounds were fired. That includes the suspect and also the police officers that he engaged. We know that they confronted him outside of the library. Lead investigators say May parked a few blocks away, walked to the library with a .380 semi-automatic handgun, his pockets filled with ammunition. They say May started shooting outside. He hit 2 FSU students, then reloaded his gun before entering the lobby. Investigators say at that point he shot 1 FSU staff member inside and attempted to shoot another. Now, they have interviewed dozens of witnesses who saw this all unfold. He never made it past the lobby. Thank goodness he went back outside. That is where 6 police officers, 5 FSU police officers, 1 Tallahassee, confronted him. They say he would not drop his weapon, and they shot and killed him. They have served a search warrant on his car and recovered evidence that may give us a better idea of his state of mind.
Mr. May had a written journal and videos where he expressed fears of being targeted and that he wanted to bring attention to this issue of targeting. A preliminary review of these documents and videos demonstrate that Mr. May was in a state of crisis. Further detailed review will continue of these documents to establish more facts.
Okay, so that's Tallahassee's police chief talking about those journals, those videos that they recovered off of his cell phone from inside his car. We do know that those 5 FSU police officers had recently undergone some training, some active shooter training, so they were very, very quick in their response to all of this. We're going to bring you more details as they come in. For now, we're live in Tallahassee. I'm Carson Chambers. Back to you.
Thank you, Carson. And we're also learning more about the suspected gunman. Our Jacqueline Ingles gaining exclusive access tonight into the cottage he was living in right before he went to Florida State. Our Jacqueline joins us now with what she found.
I'm here in Weewahitchka, a town that's 90 miles southwest of Tallahassee. Behind me here is the guest house Myron May was last living in. Family friends who live on this property told me they last saw him Saturday night, and on Sunday, he left for Florida State to see some friends.
I don't think anybody that knows Myron would tell you that they expected this from him.
He's an FSU grad, a lawyer, and now tonight, Tallahassee police are naming Myron May as the gunman who wounded 3 students in an overnight shooting at his alma mater, for he was shot and killed by officers on the steps of the campus library.
Disbelief, heartbreak. Just shock. We were all in shock.
Graduating in 2005, May went on to study law at Texas Tech. Before returning to the Florida Panhandle, May worked in Houston and New Mexico. Just last month, a former girlfriend filed a complaint against May with the Las Cruces Police Department. Friends say he was having financial trouble, and up until the shooting, May lived in this guest house here at the Hitchcock home of nationally renowned charity worker David Totten and his wife Abigail. He moved here just 3 weeks ago. Inside, there were still boxes, the bedroom in disarray, and a pill bottle half full of hydroxyzine, a drug commonly used to treat anxiety and nervousness.
We had no indication of it, none.
At this point, police say they're still trying to figure out why May drove 90 miles and opened fire on students. His social media accounts offering very few clues, which is full of biblical verses. May's last posting on November 18th came shortly before 8 p.m. He quoted a verse from the book of Matthew, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven."
Myron was a good boy, a good man. Something went terribly wrong, and I don't know what that was.
May does have family that lives right here in town. He also has roots in Ohio. I've reached out to his family and friends tonight, and I'm still waiting to hear back. In Weehawken, Jacqueline Ingles, ABC Action News.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Tonight, students at Florida State are gathering for a vigil to show their support for the victims of the shooting. Our Ashley Orr is there and joins us with a look at the mood on campus right now. Ashley.
The amount of solidarity and just the camaraderie out here this evening, simply amazing. Check out just wrapped up about 10 minutes ago, and you can see about 1,000 students out here who were just all banded together. I saw so many hugs. I saw this outpouring of support, people really trying to take a positive spin on these really frightening events that happened overnight. Now, I spoke with one student who was in the library when this all happened, and he said he didn't even take it seriously at first.
My reality was checked in really fast when I see a group of 10 or more people just screaming and running, terror in their eyes, and at that point I was like, holy crap, this isn't a joke.
You can see students out here still with their arms around one another. The main message that came out of this vigil tonight, that FSU is a family, that they're here for one another and that they will move forward. And yes, students I spoke with say they'll go back to the library as early as tomorrow when it opens back up. Reporting live from Tallahassee, I'm Ashley Orr, ABC Action News.
Thank you, Ashley. There are tens of thousands of students on campus at FSU. So if you double that, you have the number of parents, many here in the Bay Area, who were worried about their children's safety. Irene Taylor of Lakeland is one of those parents. She says she called repeatedly to get through to her 22-year-old son, Travis. He frequently studies at the Strozer Library where the gunfire broke out.
I told him, I said, when I call you, you either answer or you text me back right away. And I said, you'll understand one day, you know. It's just, it's horrifying, and you just feel so trapped. And
Major just missed being at the library when the bullets were flying. The drama from today's shooting also unfolding on social media. Our Jared Hill from the Now Tampa Bay joins us now with how photos and tweets are showing exactly what happened inside that library. Jared.
That's right, Wendy. Thank you so much. We use on the Now Tampa Bay what's called the tweet map. This helps us to be able to see what's trending online at any given moment. Now, right now, we can go in and see hashtag Pray for FSU is the largest one there. Again, FSU, FS United. Even gunmen down here is trending as well. If we take a look at some of the photos that came in from Twitter online, you can see here a photo where people were barricading the doors to be able to keep the gunmen out. Up here, people were being addressed by the police. They have their hands up to make sure that the police know that they're safe. Down here, you can see people left their laptops and their drinks and everything. They cut turf. They got out of there as soon as they heard that that shooting was happening, and they escaped. All of them down congregating down at the top of the library there. Finally, this is the tweet that viral today. People saw this tweet and have been sharing it all day long. This gentleman here, David Sillick, he shared a text message from his daughter that says, "There's a man with a gun in the library. I love you." It's got to be horrifying to get a tweet like that. He said, "I was rattled by this text message from my daughter." All of this unfolding on social media. I'll throw it back over to you guys in the studio.
You can only imagine. Thank you, Jared. University of South Florida President Judy Genschaft issued a statement on behalf of the USF community, extending their deepest concern and support for the injured students at Florida State. Genschaft said, quote, "We join millions of Floridians in sending our best wishes for the students still hospitalized to make a full and speedy recovery." She also commended school officers for their response to the shooting. Our in-depth coverage of today's shooting continues. ActionNews.com and on our free mobile app. It includes replays of today's news conferences from the authorities, as well as photos from the scene and stories from people who witnessed the shooting.